Trump reverse-engineered the Marshall Plan in post-war Europe. The Marshall Plan between 1948 and 1952 played a crucial role in rebuilding Germany and many parts of Europe after World War II, helping to establish it as a stable democracy and a key player in post-war Europe. Its impact in preventing communism and far-right politics was significant for several reasons. Economic recovery. By providing over $13 billion in aid, approximately $173 billion today, the plan helped rebuild Germany's infrastructure and economy, preventing the kind of economic collapse that had contributed to the rise of Nazism in the 1930s. Democratic foundations. The U.S. and its allies ensured that West Germany developed strong democratic institutions, promoting political stability and a system resistant to extremist ideologies. Containment of communism. The economic success of West Germany under the Marshall Plan stood in stark contrast to the Soviet-controlled East Germany, strengthening public support for democracy over communism. Integration into Europe. West Germany became part of NATO and the European Economic Community, later the EU, fostering cooperation with former enemies and reducing nationalist extremism. Regarding Trump's impact on the return of far-right politics in Europe, his presidency in 2017-2021 influenced right-wing movements across the continent in several ways. Normalization of populist rhetoric. Trump's success encouraged European far-right leaders like Marine Le Pen in France, Viktor Orban in Hungary, and Matteo Salvini in Italy to push nationalist, anti-immigrant, and Eurosceptic policies. Weakened transatlantic ties. His criticism of NATO and the EU emboldened nationalist leaders who oppose European integration. Influence on political narratives. Trump's stance on issues like immigration, media distrust, and election fraud claims resonated with European far-right parties, contributing to the rise of movements that challenge democratic norms. The Marshall Plan was instrumental in rebuilding post-war Europe, fostering economic stability and promoting democratic institutions, thereby creating a bulwark against the spread of communism and the resurgence of far-right ideologies. In contrast, recent policies under President Donald Trump's administration appear to be undermining these foundational achievements. Erosion of transatlantic relations. President Trump's America First agenda has strained the historically strong ties between the U.S. and Europe. His administration's imposition of tariffs on European goods and threats of further trade have led to economic tensions, disrupting the cooperative spirit that the Marshall Plan sought to establish. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has expressed concerns about the potential fracturing of the global economy due to these actions. Encouragement of far-right movements. Trump's rhetoric and policies have emboldened far-right parties across Europe. Notably, figures like Elon Musk have extended congratulations to leaders of Germany's Alternative for Deutschland (AfD) following their electoral successes, signaling a normalization and support of far-right ideologies. Undermining collective security. The Trump administration's approach to NATO and its conciliatory stance toward Russia have raised alarms among European allies. Trump's initial peace talks with Russia, conducted without European involvement, have led to fears of a weakened NATO and a potential realignment of security dynamics in Europe. These developments suggest a reversal of the collaborative and democratic principles that the Marshall Plan aimed to instill in post-war Europe. The current U.S. policies risk destabilizing the region, empowering extremist political factions, and undermining the economic and security frameworks that have maintained peace and prosperity on the continent for decades. As for whether we should be worried, that depends on the trajectory of European politics. While far-right parties have gained influence in some countries, mainstream democratic institutions in Europe remain robust. However, economic instability, migration issues, and political polarization could further fuel right-wing populism, potentially threatening democratic values.